Hello and welcome back to World Building with me. I'm OzoneB. We've had a couple really nice buildings made in the last few episodes. You see the church in the far distance and the refinery right beneath me. And this world is coming along really well. There's definitely many ideas for more new builds going forward. But for right now, I'm feeling a little stir crazy again and needing to explore. One thing that we haven't done yet is get to the Nether, and that is something that I want to solve this episode. As I thought about where the Nether portal should go, I considered this flat area down here, although I think there's better uses for this area in the form of an actual building a little later on. I also considered some of the neighboring hilltops like this one near where the path takes a bend before going down to the rest of the forest. But actually, as I was coming back up, I saw this area, and I think this is a very, very nice area to make a nether portal cave entrance. We could make it be something like the nether is spilling out with lava, magma, and netherrack on the ground with the nether portal at the far back. Honestly, I think it's going to turn out really cool. And so let's get started doing that. I'm ready to go adventuring in the nether. I'm going to have to be pretty careful though, because right on the other side of this hill is the smelting area with the lava going into the cave over here. So, yeah, definitely going to have to be careful. Here we go. It's not actually that complicated of a build, and I think it fits in pretty nicely. I feel like we can add some more detail to it once we get some more blocks from the nether, but at this point all I have is some netherrack magma blocks and lava from the ruined portal that we took down. Nevertheless, like I said, I think it fits in pretty nice, and it kind of fits the overall vision of what I was thinking of this portal being tucked back in the bottom of this hill. Now it's time to light it up and see where we go. Here goes nothing. A soul sand valley, which I guess is both good and bad. I definitely wanted some soul sand, so let's go ahead and start collecting some of that. I was hoping we'd be near a fortress, but no such luck. And it looks like we're pretty darn high up, and I don't know where to go from here. In the Nether, you'll often find fossils like this. These bone blocks can be quite useful and a great source of bone meal, which is something I don't have all that much of. Well, we seem to be on a floating piece of rock and soul sand in the sky. Getting down is going to be a real challenge. I think the best way to do that is to utilize this giant stalactite of basalt and try to bridge over there and then get down that way. This is truly one of the worst spawns I think I've encountered in a while. Well, I managed to get down some of the elevation. There's my portal right there. That is the column of basalt that I was going to try to spiral staircase down, but I just didn't trust myself. And so instead, I dug a tunnel that went up and over and came down over there. We're still pretty far off the bottom, but honestly at this point we just got to find a different biome and a way to get there. I finally found something. I basically went up and made a giant tunnel way up high near the bedrock ceiling of the nether. And when I got to a nether waste, I decided to start coming on down. Well, now I'm in a crimson forest, which is nice, but see over there? That's a fortress, which was one of the goals of this trip. So this is cool. Now we just got to get over there. There we have it. Finally landed. But I realized something as I'm getting ready to do this. I've been hearing some piglins. It's a pretty nice area right here. We've got a crimson forest right here and a warped forest right here. So in terms of resources, I think we can get pretty much everything we want to get. But I'm not wearing any gold. And those piglins aren't too kind if you're not wearing gold. All right, gold acquired. Now, let's figure out how to get in here. Now, what is the goal of coming into a nether fortress? Well, first off, it's the only place that you can get nether wart, which is important for making potions. But secondly, there's generally a lot of good loot. First thing, though, you want to set up a cheater bar like this, so that you can go underneath it. But if there's any wither skeletons around here, they cannot. Wither skeletons are 3 blocks tall. So let's see what kind of loot we got. I have been wanting a saddle for a long time, actually, and gold is always good. It's also real easy to get turned around in these fortresses. They tend to just snake and go on forever. So you want to leave yourself some kind of breadcrumb, like cobblestone, which sticks out a lot against the background of this fortress. And this tells you that where you need to go and where you've been. In fact, in this case, it's telling me that I need to go this direction. Giving credit where credit is due. That is the Skizzleman compass. And it works well. All right, there's the nether wart. That's one of the big things that we were coming here for. And there looks like there's another room behind. But I always like to put up the cheater bars to help keep me safe. Wither skeletons and the wither effect can be rather brutal. Now this will work out perfectly because I want to get some of the nylium and mushrooms, so we can get both the warped and the crimson nylium here. I haven't seen any crimson fungus yet, but that'll happen soon enough. Got one. Blaze rod in hand. Now we need a few more. It's often good to have fire resist potions on hand for exactly that reason. This area would actually be really good to make a blaze farm in because it's pretty well already enclosed by netherrack. So I think that might be a project for another day. All right, back home and with the spoils of the fortress. Didn't actually spend all that much time in there, but looky here, we got crimson nylium and crimson fungus, which means we can grow some of those crimson trees right here. And then the warped nylium and warped fungus. So we can grow those trees here. Some ender pearls. The warped area is really good to get ender pearls, and these are going to be important to get to the dragon and fight the dragon. Some diamonds are always good. 49 blaze rods, and then nether wart, and finally a saddle. I've been wanting to get a saddle for a long time, so I think we need to go over to the plains and pick up one of those horses. Now I have had my eye on the horses nearby ever since I got into this area, and I have been wanting to get my hands on a saddle for some time. I've not tried to ride any or done anything with them, but I think now is the right time, so let's get going. There we go. Are you going to listen to me and love me? No, you know you're not. Let's try again. We got to keep trying. But keep on trying until you do. Okay, there we go. Best friends forever. Now, get you a saddle and horse armor, and you are good to go. This ought to make exploring the area in distance a whole lot easier. Although we still have to manage to avoid all these crevices that abound in the new 1.18 terrain generation. But let's go exploring. Yeehaw! We shall call you Midnight. Because that's just so cliche, but I love it. It's a solid black horse, and we are moving fast.
Ride like the wind, Bullseye!
Home sweet home. You're going to love it here, Midnight. And we're going to have to go back out. I also realized that this path to get over into the barn area from anywhere that way is not so good. So that's going to have to be fixed too. We've got a little nether portal in the way and kind of going up and over and around, and no, it just didn't work. So, I don't know. Have to do something about that. Or maybe just never go explore that way again and just always go somewhere that way. Who knows? For now, I think it's back to the nether and keep on exploring there. Still need to find a basalt delta because I do want some blackstone. Oh, wow, wow, wow. All right. We got a big old bastion right over here on the other side of the Crimson Forest. Also, if I don't find a basalt delta, I may be looking at that for as a source of blackstone. There's a lot of blackstone right there. There we go. Found a basalt delta. Not too far away either. The nether fortress that I've been coming to is right here, and could probably just go all the way through the nether fortress and get to the basalt delta. Let's see if we can find the route. Okay, I'm just wandering around here and fighting a bunch of wither skeletons, but there we go. One, at least, down. So as I've been running back and forth, collecting resources, I kind of hollowed out this little room here and set up some chests. But it's a long way down that hallway toward all of the things that we found, all of the biomes that I've been collecting from. It's about 200 blocks. But nevertheless, this little safe room is a really good thing. And you can see we're right up here next to the bedrock ceiling above us. But I think maybe that's the project to start on. I think we need basically a nether hub on the nether side of things. I built the portal on the overworld side, but now I need to build up a safe room on the nether side of things. And you can see, well, you did see when we came in, it wasn't a very good spawn. First of all, it's open and exposed. And second of all, it's right next to this cliff. And I put up some blocks to try to make sure that I don't accidentally run off the edge. It's not a great place to have a portal. I think instead it would be better to relocate the portal right here, up here, and dig this out and make this into a little bigger of a room with some decorations. And then this hallway, I think it would be a good idea to put something down here and decorate this hallway that we're going to be running back and forth down whenever there's resource collecting that needs to be done. It would probably be a good idea to spawn proof this as well. But I've been pretty busy. Got a goodly bit of blackstone, a modicum of the crimson and warped blocks, and a whole lot of netherrack. Not that netherrack is terribly useful, but it is good for like temporary blocks and scaffolding and things like that. So, I keep everything. Now, building something up this high is going to be a real challenge. We don't have a lot of room underneath us to work with, and we got the bedrock ceiling right above. So it's going to have to be pretty flat. I want it to also be colorful, so this will be really interesting. So let's get into a time lapse. Now this is where I decided I didn't really like where this was going. It's just too crowded. I had to start over and just tear the whole thing down. So cue time-lapse number 2. here we are all done after the rebuild. We've got the portal in the middle on all four sides, a nice portal. The top is a nice bright white quartz, really giving a lot of illumination to this room. Each hallway in each of the cardinal directions is themed with certain bricks. So we've got the nether brick and netherrack over here. We have the warped wood and wart blocks over here. Then we have soul sand and soul soil over here. And lastly, the crimson over here, so that each hallway could be extended in a direction and have its own color theme, much like this hallway does with the nether brick and nether rack, accented by some blackstone and basalt. Now, this took a lot of resources. I went through pretty much, actually, all of the blackstone and basalt that I had gathered, and I had to go gather more. The nether brick was a kind of a pain to get, and it goes all the way down to the nether fortress. It is quite a long tunnel and took a lot of work to get done. The floor is all slabbed, so it's all completely spawn-proofed. It looks really good. We don't even need lights in here. It's a little boring and repetitive, but I think the hub area looks pretty nice. There is, however, a really big problem with this nether hub. I lined up the portal with a tunnel that goes toward the fortress and the warped forest and and basically everything I want is down there. But I'm a little far away from my original location, and yeah, this portal doesn't go to my base. That's kind of a problem. We'll just, I guess, overlook that for right now. My real portal is over here and down to this side. I did relocate it up to be on the same level here, but yeah, we're gonna have to do something about that. I don't know that I'm going to extend these hallways in these directions really ever, but they're there if I want to. This, however, like I said, is the one that I do use and honestly see myself using most of the time. I do like the way this turned out. I didn't enjoy having to rebuild the entire thing, unfortunately, though. Even though I mocked this up in creative, I didn't follow the design clearly when I got to building it in survival, and it just got to the point where it was too small. There was no room able to walk between these guys, and these hallways being only too wide just didn't feel right and didn't work for me. So, yeah, it's better to waste time and rebuild something than live with something that you're just not happy with, and that's what I did. But that is all the time I think we have for this episode. So thanks for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed exploring the Nether and building out this pretty neat Nether hub, even though it's not quite so useful as I had hoped. But anyway, that's it for now. Remember, be excellent to each other, and I'm out.